How's it going, everyone? Welcome to #Trending. Now, the Saudi-led war on Yemen is a conflict that was supposed to last just a couple of weeks, but now it's in its 7th year. During all these years, the Yemenis have managed to form a strong resistance against the aggressors and even inflict heavy losses on them. The Yemeni army and its allied Ansarullah forces have been able to make gains in the fight against the Saudi coalition and Saudi-backed militias on several fronts. In the latest development, Yemen's air defenses shot down a Saudi spy drone over the northeastern province of Sadda. Right now, some social media users believe the downing of the Saudi spy drone is a further indication that Riyadh has been trapped in a military quagmire in Yemen, especially after the United States stepped back as a primary backer of this unwinnable war. Let's see what they're saying on social media. Now, an army spokesman, Yahya Sareh of Yemen, says air defenses shot down a Chinese-made spy plane, it's called Winglong 2, belonging to Saudi Air Force, while carrying out hostile missions in the airspace of Qadaf area in Sadda Governorate. Now, spy plane was shot down with a suitable weapon operation that was documented with a military lens. Interesting stuff. Another Twitter user, Yusuf Alfish, says, "Why don't the new Al Saud rulers read the experience of Saddam Hussein? Since coming to power and liquidating his rivals and his aggression against his neighbors in Iran for 8 years, he means, and after his economic, military and moral losses, he tried to compensate by invading Kuwait. What was the result? Read history so that it does not repeat itself." So as fighting escalates in southern Yemen, voices are rising in condemnation of the continued Saudi military campaign that has already turned its impoverished Arab neighbor to the worst humanitarian crisis in the world. Now let's see what our social media friends are saying. Run on Twitter says, protests against the Saudi occupation across Yemen's southern regions continue to escalate. In Aden, the forces of the Emirati-backed Transitional Council opened fire against protesters, leaving scores dead and wounded. Now, here's the video. Let's move on now. Rania on Twitter says, things going from bad to worse for the Saudis. How many tens of billions have they wasted trying to bully Yemenis into submission, killing hundreds of thousands in the process? Very well said. All right, now Harry actually on Twitter says, Yemen is starving. You may choose to look the other way, but you can't say that you didn't know. Consider the wounds we inflict on our souls, actually, when we look the other way. Stop the Marib offensive to end the Yemen war. Very true indeed. Now, we've got a friend on Press TV, called Solution, who says, see two Arab brother countries fighting each other. Saudi Arabia, when will you stop fighting and embracing peace? Now, with more than 80% of Yemen's population in need of help, among them millions of children, many are calling on international organizations, namely the United Nations, to step in and stop the horrible crimes that are being committed in the Arab country. Now let's see what our social media user friends are saying. Bin Ghaleb on Twitter says, US-Saudi war on Yemen created the largest, fastest spreading cholera epidemic in history. Very true indeed. Now, Saud al-Salahi on Twitter goes on to say, more than 2 million children of school age are still out of school. More than 8 million children need help with education. 2,500 schools are either destroyed, damaged, or used for non-educational purposes. This is really disturbing indeed. Now, Mazan Mohammed on Twitter says, "To all the free people of Yemen and all the solidarity in the world, do not be silent about this brutality and crime sponsored by the countries of the US-Saudi coalition and their mercenaries against the Yemenis." Very true. Now, Chief Sharp Noise also on Twitter says, "A very cruel and tyrannical authority can easily commit horrible crimes. Their hegemony affects the entire world population. Seeing the Yemeni children who suffer malnutrition, no one can say that they're not aware of them. So where is the UN?" Now, even though the Yemenis have resisted well against these Saudi aggressors, we can only hope the war on Yemen ends as soon as possible. I'll see you again soon. This is #Trending.